Today we're going back in time to check out 15 legendary free co-op games that you can still jump into and enjoy with your friends. These forgotten gems once had massive communities, and even now, years later, they're still alive and totally worth revisiting. Let's kick off our list with Dirty Bomb. It came out back in 2015, and as you can see from the reviews, it's still getting tons of positive feedback to this day, and honestly, for its age, the game still has a surprisingly active player base. Why? Because Dirty Bomb is a super dynamic first-person shooter that very quickly became a cult favorite among fans of tactical online shooters when it first launched. The action takes place in a post-apocalyptic London poisoned after a mysterious disaster. The streets of the ruined city have turned into battlefields for mercenaries working for different factions. The destroyed city atmosphere, the dark maps, and the intense firefights really make you feel like you're part of a real Spec Ops mission. The key thing about Dirty Bomb is its team play. This isn't one of those games where every soldier can do everything. Each mercenary has a role. Someone heals teammates, someone repairs or blows up objectives, someone provides cover fire. Without teamwork, you're not winning here. And unlike a lot of free-to-play shooters that come and go, Dirty Bomb is still alive. And by the way, it doesn't push pay-to-win nonsense. It's all about skill and strategy. The gameplay itself is fast, brutal, and packed with action. Maps revolve around objectives, planting explosives, delivering cargo, defending or storming key points. Every fight is a race against the clock, where victory depends on your squad working in sync. Sure, the graphics are a bit dated now, but honestly, Dirty Bomb still holds up as a solid free shooter, especially if you're playing with friends. It's also great if you're on a low-end PC, but if you're looking for something a little more modern, I've got one for you. Hired Ops, a hardcore multiplayer shooter from 2021. This one throws you into a mercenary world where there are no rules, no morals, and just guns, contracts, and survival. You're not fighting for a country or an idea here, you're fighting for money and your life. The game focuses heavily on realism and tactics. Forget arcade gunplay, weapons feel heavy, recoil is brutal, ammo runs out fast. Every little detail matters, your armor choice, scopes, mods, ammo types. The weapon customization system is deep enough to turn your gun into a one-of-a-kind killing machine. Hired Ops is for players who want challenge and realism. It's not about quick fun, it's about focus, survival, and skill. But if you want something just for pure fun, check out Combat Master from 2023. I usually don't play games that are this fast-paced, but honestly, this one hooked me for hours. It's got more modes than the previous shooters, better graphics, and an insane level of speed and intensity. So if you're in the mood for something newer and super dynamic, Combat Master might be your game. I also stumbled on a survival game called XERA Survival, released in 2019. It immediately stood out to fans of the survival genre because instead of the usual zombies or mutants, here you're fighting against combat robots. The story is set in the near future. A corporation develops advanced AI, but of course something goes horribly wrong, and now experimental combat drones roam the world, threatening humanity. You and your friends have to fight back and somehow survive in this massive open world. You can explore the huge map together, gather resources, craft gear, and complete missions, but beware, you can run into other survivors who might try to take what you've collected. The combat system is also solid, built around realistic gunfights with everything from pistols and assault rifles to sniper systems. The whole vibe mixes survival and sci-fi. Dark forests, abandoned military bases, labs, farms, all crawling with merciless drones. It's a really cool and atmospheric game, definitely worth checking out, especially if you've never heard of it before. Now let's bring up a classic, BrainBread 2. This is a legend, no doubt. Everyone who loved Left 4 Dead and wanted something similar eventually came across BrainBread 2, since it's free on Steam. This is a co-op zombie shooter that dropped in 2016 as a continuation of the cult Half-Life mod. It quickly won over fans of old-school zombie shooters. Why am I recommending it? Because from the very first minutes, you feel that old-school vibe. The gunfights, the simple but atmospheric graphics, the grim maps, everything hits the nostalgia sweet spot. But the main feature is the balance between PvE and PvP. You can fight zombie hordes with your friends, or you can become a zombie yourself and hunt down other players. Gameplay is mission-based, clearing territories, completing objectives, rescuing survivors. Zombies come in waves, getting tougher and deadlier every minute. Limited resources and constant tension force players to stick together and work as a team. There's also a progression system. Now, completing objectives and killing enemies gives you XP that unlocks new abilities like better speed, accuracy, or survivability. survivability. That adds depth and makes every session feel different. Visually, it runs on the source engine, so it has that classic 2000s mod feel. And honestly, that simplicity is what makes it special. I personally love the source engine. The sound design, the textures, the atmosphere. If you've ever played Half-Life, or like me, spent years in Counter-Strike Source, you'll instantly recognize that vibe. BrainBread 2 is definitely worth jumping into, at least once with your friends. I think a lot of you will enjoy it, especially if you go in without expectations. It's genuinely a fun, interesting game. And while we're at it, there's another game in the same spirit, No More Room in Hell, another co-op zombie shooter on the source engine, released on Steam in 2011, even earlier than BrainBread 2. This one is all about realism and tension. There's no crosshair, no HUD with health bars or ammo counters. If you want to check how many bullets you've got, you literally have to check your magazine manually. Every shot matters. You can play in co-op with up to 8 people. Missions involve defending zones, scavenging for supplies, rescuing survivors, or evacuating, but resources are extremely limited. Every bullet, every medkit is precious, and one wrong move can doom the entire squad. The atmosphere is incredible. Ruined neighborhoods, subways, hospitals, suburbs. Over time, this game gained cult status. A sequel dropped in 2024, but honestly, it wasn't received well and the price was high. The first one, though, is still completely free, which is why I'm reminding you about it. And now, a game called Muck. It came out not too long ago, in 2021, and it's a free survival game with roguelike elements that you can play with your friends. When it launched, it quickly blew up thanks to its unusual mix of simplicity, chaos, and fast-paced gameplay. The story is minimal, just like in any roguelike. You spawn on a randomly generated island, and the goal is simple: survive as long as you can. The threats, waves of monsters, harsh natural conditions, and limited resources. The game is made for up to 4 players in co-op, which basically makes it a perfect casual Discord hangout game with friends. And every run feels different. The gameplay is chaotic and funny, with characters running around on blocky pixel maps, gathering pixelated resources, building pixel forts, and crafting pixel weapons and armor. Every action you take comes with silly physics and unpredictable island generation, which makes the experience even wilder. Combat is simple but actually really engaging, and as you've probably noticed, the graphics are super minimalistic but stylish. Cute characters, bright colorful landscapes. A huge plus is that the game runs fine even on weaker PCs, so you and your friends can jump right in. Now, do you remember back in 2018 when battle royales were absolutely exploding? Fortnite, PUBG, all that hype? Riding that wave, a free game called Totally Accurate Battlegrounds came out. At first it was just supposed to be a parody of the genre, kind of a joke, but unexpectedly it became a hit in the Steam community and found its own fanbase. At first glance, it looks completely chaotic and absurd, but underneath it's the same battle royale formula. Dozens of players drop into a massive map and fight until only one is left standing. The twist is the physics. Characters move like rag dolls made of rubber. They stumble around, flop their arms, and can collapse at any moment. The weapons, shotguns, rifles, bows, even weird exotic gear, all of it works in ridiculous ways. You can drop your gun by accident, get launched backward by recoil, or even accidentally shoot your teammate. The whole game is pure absurdity, and that's exactly what makes it so much fun and so unique. The maps are also full of variety, keeping things fresh. Honestly, I recommend giving it at least a couple of evenings with friends, because behind all the chaos, there's genuine fun and energy here. Next up is a true legend of survival sandboxes with a zombie apocalypse twist, Unturned. It launched on Steam in 2017 and instantly became a hit, proving that even an indie game with super minimal graphics can pull in millions of players. At first glance, Unturned looks like a mix between Minecraft and DayZ. Blocky graphics, simple models, survival in an open world full of zombies and other players. But beneath that simplicity is a lot of depth. You'll be scavenging resources, building bases, crafting weapons and armor, hunting, fishing, and of course, fighting off the undead. Survival mechanics play a big role. You have to manage hunger, thirst, health, and even radiation. The beauty of Unturned is its versatility. You can play solo, surviving on random maps, or dive into multiplayer servers where whole stories unfold. Friendships, betrayals, clan wars. The community has created tons of custom maps, weapons, vehicles, and even scripted scenarios, which keeps the game fresh. And of course, co-op with friends is where the real fun begins. Next, we go way back, all the way to 1999. Yep, don't be surprised. Sven Co-op is a true legend among free Steam games and an absolute cult classic in shooter history. The magic of Sven Co-op is that it lets you play through Half-Life's campaigns and tons of community-made maps together with your friends. Where Gordon Freeman had to take on the world alone, here you've got teamwork. You can share weapons, help each other survive, and face challenges as a squad. The game supports not just the original levels, but thousands of fan-made maps and mods created over the decades. You'll find everything here. Remakes the classic missions, physics experiments, crazy maps with giant bosses, or entirely new worlds to explore. The gameplay revolves around co-op firefights and puzzle solving, opening doors, activating machines, advancing through areas. The game throws real challenges at you: alien hordes, military units, deadly traps. The atmosphere is one of a kind. It's Half-Life, but it's also something bigger, a game that still lives thanks to its fans and continues to get updates. And despite the outdated graphics, it's still incredibly fun to play today. If you've never tried it, grab a few friends and give it a shot. Next up is Ylands, a free sandbox adventure from Bohemia Interactive, the same guys behind DayZ and Arma. It came out in 2019 and offers a colorful, creative take on survival. Here you spawn in a bright, blocky world full of islands to explore, resources to gather, and stuff to build. You can craft weapons, armor, ships, even whole bases, and then just set off on adventures with your friends. What makes Ylands stand out is its light-hearted, cartoony style and the freedom it gives you. It's less about hardcore survival stress and more about exploration, creativity, and just having fun. And since the devs keep adding modes and community-made content, it feels more like a platform for endless adventures than just one game. If you're looking for something survival-like but with a chill, adventurous vibe, Ylands is a great pick, especially with friends. Then we've got Alien Swarm, Reactive Drop, a co-op tactical shooter from 2017. Players take on the roles of elite marines, sent on missions to clear out ships and stations overrun by hostile aliens. The goal is to survive and complete objectives like rescuing survivors, planting bombs, or destroying alien biomass. The missions are dynamic and the enemies adapt to your team's actions. They attack in waves, creating intense moments where one mistake can wipe out the squad. Difficulty levels are adjustable, so both newbies and veterans can enjoy it. The graphics have a sort of stylized, almost cartoony realism, but with sharp animations and effects that amplify the sci-fi atmosphere. Reactive Drop also supports custom missions, which means endless replayability. And if you want something similar but newer, check out Thunder Tier 1. It's a realistic top-down tactical shooter where you play as a special forces unit fighting a terrorist organization called SBR. You can play the campaign in co-op with up to 4 players, or solo with AI teammates. Teamwork, loadout choice, and tactics are everything here. It came out in 2021 as a paid game, but as of 2025, it's completely free, so there's really no reason not to try it with friends. Next up is Darwin Project, released in 2020. This is a unique and colorful free battle royale that's very different from PUBG or Fortnite. Instead of huge shootouts, Darwin Project focuses on survival, tactics, and spectacle. The story takes place in a post-apocalyptic future Canada after an ecological disaster. To entertain the masses, they host brutal survival shows. 10 players are dropped into a frozen arena where they have to fight each other, but also battle the cold, hunger, and lack of resources. The big hook is the mix of combat and survival. You can craft gear, build fires, set traps, upgrade equipment, all while making sure you don't freeze to death. Every sound, every fire, every footprint can reveal your location to enemies. Visually, it has a stylish, cartoony look with bright colors and snowy maps that really stand out. The community isn't huge anymore, but it left a mark on the genre. And if you've got a big group of friends, it's still an awesome co-op experience. By the way, I think it feels a bit like Vigor, which used to be a paid game but became free in 2024. And hey, if you want, I can make a whole video with the best free survival shooters out there. Just let me know in the comments, hit that like button if you enjoyed this one, and of course don't forget to subscribe. We recently hit 1000 subs, and I seriously can't thank you enough for that. Also, check out my other videos. You might find something cool there too, and I'll see you in the next one.